I think that the buyer demand has reduced slightly. People are more wary of pulling the trigger on bigger deals. I think that there is more supply coming through in terms of people listing their deals, but the prices are not dropping yet. People are not feeling the crunch yet. Like a question that I've been wondering is, like, how many site builders do you think do this on the side and have a full-time job as well? I would think likely probably more, 50% or more, something around that. And so, in the UK, we have government support. We have furlough schemes, which is a word that I never knew previously. We have this around the world. And so whilst people are being supported and businesses are not going under, I think people are assuming that, maybe this coronavirus is just a blip. But I'm seeing it as a very big global impact. And yeah, like you say, I guess, we're into the second quarter of a recession now, depending on how you count it. But this has the potential to be huge. This has the potential to be a prolonged depression. And so I think that once the government support goes for propping up people's salaries and people start, really feeling a hit with their incomes, people are going to have to start liquidating assets and converting assets into cash. And so I think websites are no different. And I think that people are going to be having to sell their websites at some point and accepting lower multiples. I think the multiples are going to drop significantly over the next 3 to 6 months. And it would already be a buyer's market if sellers were not feeling pain yet. Mm-hmm. So I think the pain is about to come. If you are wanting to sell your website or having to sell your website, I think it's going to be at far lower multiples that we were used to seeing, like 2017, 2018, it was all sub 30x. It's only, 2019 and the start of this year was the highest it's ever been, where, previously you would never think about a multiple starting with a 4. But, 40x plus, we're starting to see that. So I think that's going to disappear for quite some time. And I think we could easily see sub 30 being the new norm, where, end of last year, start of this year, 34, 36 was pretty common, which I don't think it's been more core Google updates, but I think their impact has been more heavy. And so I don't really understand how you could pay more than 2 to 2.5 years of profit in the future when it's so uncertain. So, yeah, that's my take.
I agree 100% with especially the last statement there, where I was really surprised at some of the multiples and some of the prices. Now, some websites have a little bit more of a diverse traffic source. Maybe they have a few sources. Maybe they have more Pinterest coming in, and then maybe they have a few other sort of revenue streams too. So there's some sites like that, but I was seeing kind of like what you're saying. It's just people were paying a whole lot, and really we can kind of rely that there's at least going to be a couple or more core Google updates, and it's a crapshoot. I mean, we have no idea what's going to happen, and I've seen sites drop and then come back higher than they were and then drop again. And when you look at some of the analytics and the data that you can get out there from like Ahrefs, for example, it's pretty surprising. So yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, I've been hearing people say that at the moment, Ahrefs data in terms of search traffic and the search graph may not be as accurate as it was previously. I have no idea. But so every week I look through all the content site listings across the marketplace on Flipper, on Empire Flippers, on Investors Club. And, last Wednesday, 80% plus of the deals that I looked up in Ahrefs were very badly hit by the May 4th update, like significantly massive drop showing in Ahrefs. And so I can't recommend something if I have a graph saying that it's dropping. I need to wait to see what happens, what's reported on in May before I can recommend a site. So there's very few sites to recommend, but an 80% of every site that I looked up appears to have dropped, which is bizarre and makes me wonder where that traffic is going. Is it going to the far bigger publications? That's something I need to look into. But this update seems to have been just as bad as November 8th, which crushed some sites. So these updates, they're having much bigger effects. And it does feel like a crapshoot to me. It does feel like there's so much I don't know, luck. It's an algorithm. It's programmed to do something, but I don't know why some sites get hit and others don't. So, and that feels like the new normal. Whereas previously you could kind of assume that sites would maintain and do okay over the years, but I don't think you can assume that anymore.
Right.
At least on the lower end.
Indeed. One, just to dig into the weeds a little bit with Ahrefs, I know a few of my sites, it looked like it was a very dramatic drop, like in November and then in May. However, it was much more muted in terms of like real traffic. So it looked like traffic dropped by 40%, but it really only dropped by like 12. So
Yeah.
just the way the data is interpreted, who knows how the algorithm works on the Ahrefs side, but
Yeah, I mean, do they then go back and update their data and make it more accurate over time? Because I'm having a look at some sites that I remember got destroyed by the November 8th and it's still looking like they got destroyed. It's hard when you're doing due diligence and an update has just happened and you're looking to acquire, or you're in the process, or maybe you've sent your money into escrow and you're in the inspection period, and Google Analytics is looking okay, but Ahrefs is showing a big drop. I don't know. That would freak me out a little bit.